Hello, church world, and I just wanted to come to you today because I recently wrote a song called Crush on You, and it's just basically about that moment when you're in church and you see that guy or that girl, and you just have this epiphany or this realization of fresh butterflies fluttering around in your stomach, and you're like, God, please let it work out with this person because they're just everything that I've been hoping for, praying for, whatever, and help me that I don't lose my mind. Um, with this, like, please, like, help me with this. And so, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about that because the thing about it is I feel like a lot of people, like, when we get in situations like that, we should pray, but I feel like a lot of people are praying wrong in the sense that people are praying that, and this is for real, people are praying that uh God changes the person that they like, that for, and what I mean is that they're praying that God will change their mind, that the person will like them, that the person will be attracted to them, that, I don't know, he sends them a dream or something, or whatever else. And it's just like, dude, God is not a genie. He's not a witch or a warlock that'll cast spells on people or anything like that. You can pray for these people. I mean, you can pray that God, blesses them, blesses their ministry, that He makes a way for them to be blessed. That if any, like, strongholds or hindrances could block them from spiritual growth and from a blessing, that that they would be removed. But you might not be that blessing for them. You might not be a blessing to them. So the best thing you can do is pray on yourself. You can change yourself. Like, ask God, like, if there's any habits or issues or things that you can work on now before going into relationship or thinking about going into a relationship. You can pray that. You can pray that, that these feelings that you have, if something does start to happen with the relationship, that nothing is ever too distracting to the point where you overlook red flags or you ignore advice or things like that. But mainly, you need to pray on yourself and pray on your own spiritual growth, your spiritual eyes. Um, because a lot of times, I mean, then a lot of times people, I understand that people are praying for spouses and marriage, and they really want that. I know there's a lot of people, especially women in the church, that are praying those prayers. But we really need to stop and examine ourselves, because there are a lot of people who not only are dealing with loneliness, but they're dealing with depression. And some people actually believe that if they get another person into their life, that person would heal their depression and heal whatever issues that they have. And a lot of times what ends up happening is that people end up bringing those issues and that baggage into the relationship and into the marriage, and they're dealing with that for a long time. So you really want to try and deal with that stuff before you get into a relationship. Makes sense, right? Of course it does. You agree with me. You're smart. I know you are. So yeah, so you want to make sure that you're praying on yourself, and not trying to manipulate or control someone else. And I know some people was like, well, I believe God would send me the one, and all that other stuff. And the thing about it is that most of y'all can't even hear from God when it comes to what kind of offering y'all supposed to be giving, or hearing from God when it comes to not fornicating. I don't know if all you guys can be able to hear from God if God says, hey, you should marry this person. I'm sorry. It's just like everybody has a hard, I find it interesting that everybody has a hard time hearing from God about every other issue in their life, but when it comes to a spouse, they automatically know. All of a sudden the heavens have opened up and they can hear clearly. And you have to realize that most of that is feelings, most of that is just your attraction and your coming through. And what you definitely don't want is some type of covetous spirits, because I've seen that too. A lot of people in the church, um thankfully not my church at this moment, but I've seen a lot of people throughout the years, um that have coveted other people's relationships and coveted other people's husbands, other people's wives, praying that people die and all kinds of craziness. And it's just kind of like, honey, that's not God. It's just, you want to pray, make sure you're praying on yourself. There are so many people on this planet. So billions and billions of people on this planet. And it is possible for if that is something that would be a blessing in your life, and God knows to be a blessing in your life, and he wants to give you the desires of your heart, then that's something that can definitely happen to you, that you can find that spouse and have a happy marriage. I honestly 100% believe that, but it's not going to happen until you work on yourself in your relationship with God. Stop trying to ask God to find somebody else to fill the loneliness in your heart, and ask God to fill the loneliness, to fill that up. You're asking God, who wants a relationship with you, by the way. He wants to have a relationship with you. He wants you to draw closer to him. He wants to be closer to you. And you're asking him to send somebody else to be close to you. Like, why don't you just stop for a moment and say, you know what? God, I need more of you right now. This is what I need more of you every single day. I need more of you. And you know what? Most of the marriages, the successful marriages that I have encountered in my life from different people that have been married for decades in the ministry, a lot of them have testified and have said that they found their spouse when they weren't looking. They were concentrating and focused on God, and that's when the person entered in. So why don't you just try getting closer to God? Praying on yourself and getting closer to God. Let's try that. See how that works out for you. Amen. Amen.